y'all are having a blessed day. It is a stunningly beautiful day here on the mountain. Thank you, Jesus. He has blessed us so nicely here today. Mr. Dinky is out on the porch and he's meowing, so you may hear him in the background. He may also decide to jump up on the table and get into some trouble. But we are here today with our next little project. And our next little project is going to be a 1930s posy. And this is my original design. And it is based on a very, very, very tiny flower that was about half the size of my pinky nail. And I found it in the driveway, and it was a gift from the Lord. And it had 4 little white petals, and it had 1, 2, 3, 4. It had 8 little yellow petals, and all the petals kind of look like hearts, and then these little tiny wispy leaves. So here is my sample block, and I have taken a bit of artistic license with the one that we're going to be putting together here together, and I'm using different color petals to make it help make it stand out from the background. Because if there's one thing that these feed sacks, these 1930s Depression era fabrics are known for, it is that they are very bright and colorful. So it's kind of difficult to find a very subdued background. So before we begin, I have a few things to say, and one is that I had the live stream the other night where I showed you how to make one of my latest patterns, Chickens on the Mountain. It is a 4-inch by 6-inch mug rug, and it is available for sale in my coffee shop if you are interested. And again, if you are one of the generous folks that joined me on Patreon, just a quick announcement. On April 30th, I'm going to be turning off Patreon, and I've moved everything over that I'm doing over to Ko-fi, and that is ko-fi.com, and you can find me over there, 70 Acres Studio, and there will be a link to it in the show notes below. And I have patterns available for sale I have more posies coming, more posy mug rugs, and I have more chicken mug rugs, and I have more mountain mug rugs coming. I'm designing them left and right, and I will invite you to please join one of the tiers on my Ko-fi. And if you do that, you will get access to exclusive content. And I have my bird herd. If you look in the background there, that's the first bird. So that will be getting moved over to Ko-fi. That way, if you've paid for it, if you pay for one of my subscription memberships, you can get access to that and all the other birds. I've been designing birds until they're coming out my eyeballs. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And that is all exclusive content. In addition to the blocks, I'm going to be doing some other things with these birds, stickers or some other kind of merch that you may enjoy. And I'm building a wonderful and loving community over in Ko-fi via Discord. And if you don't know what Discord is a social network platform similar to Facebook, but without the news feed and without all of the hate and negativity. So I'm going to be moving all my goodies that are currently on my Facebook group, The Flock, over to Discord. I've already got it set up, and there will also be a link to that in the show notes down below. This way, if you'd like to join, you can. You are welcome. This is the fabric that I have picked for my background, and even though the flower petals were actually white, I'm going to be using this pretty pink for them. And I do have the yellow petals that go in the middle, and I've got the little center, and I fussy cut it so you'd have a little flower in there. And then I've got the leaves, and they're darker, so they'll stand out nicely on the background. So we have to cut these out. And as a reminder, all of the blocks in this series are 8.5-inch unfinished, 8-inch finished. And if you are making them into a quilt, you can use any of the blocks in this series. If you don't like one, you don't need to use it. And I think I'm getting ready to wind down this project pretty soon. I think that I will do 1 or 2 more blocks and we will call it done. If you wanted to do like a baby quilt or something, you could do it in like 4x4 with sashings and a border, and that would make a nice baby quilt. If you wanted to do a larger quilt, then you could do 3 of some, 4 other blocks, cornerstones. You could do all sorts of fun things to make this into a quilt. And as always, the link to the free pattern for this series is going to be in the description below the video. And this is raw edge fusible applique, so there are no seam allowances, there's no piecing, it's just iron it down and stitch around it and you're done. And you don't want to place these things closer than 1/2 inch to the edge because you need 1/4 inch for the seam allowance and you want like 1/4 inch going around. So I'm having all sorts of fun over on Discord setting up our in Discord. Rather than have a group, you have something called a server. So the equivalent to group is server, and the server has multiple channels in it. So we have a general chit chat channel, we've got an announcements channel, we have an events channel, we have a recipe channel that I added last night, we have a quilt project channel. You can go and post pictures of your latest projects. It doesn't have to be quilts, it can be any kind of craft that you like. An event, if you just posted a new YouTube video to your YouTube channel, you can announce it there and put a link in. You can post photos. We have a devotional channel. The equivalent to the Facebook group rooms are what they call voice channels. So you can go in there and you can just chat with each other over voice, or you can actually do video, kind of like a Zoom. We had fun last night. We walked all the way along our creek and looked for wildflowers, and we found trilliums, and we found all sorts of gorgeous flowers. I posted some of them over on my coffee. There's a blog feature on coffee, so I was able to post several pictures. I'm going to be starting a new series when I am done with these flowers. I'm very excited about it. It is going to involve potato chip blocks. I know how much you love those potato chip blocks. We are going to score the paper on the back. I'm taking a straight pin and I'm not digging, I'm just dragging it across the paper, and then the paper splits enough for you to pop the backing off. My next bird is coming out, and in the upper tiers of coffee, you'll have access to the bird herd, which is my wild and crazy bird patterns that are coming out. One new one a month, and that is the next one is coming out on May 1st, and it's going to be my version of a silly owl. And there's no hard and fast rules here. You can place these any way you like. This was a very airy flower, very spacey. It almost looked like nothing was holding it together. Okay, there's the leaves. There we go. So that is how I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to take my pattern paper, so you can see it that they were very spread out. It was very airy. But I'm going to take my pattern paper and slide it underneath my pattern so I don't lose the pieces, and I'm going over to my iron. I'm going to iron them down following my Fusibles instructions, and then I will come back and we'll sew them together. Okay, I have it all ironed down, and that I really like. I think that's so sweet. So I'm going to sew around the leaves right now. I have a light green thread in, and I think today I'm not going to do the triple stitch. I think today I'm just going to do a simple straight stitch because that's what I feel like doing. I'm going to go pretty near to the edge, a good 1/16 of an inch away from the edge, and we're just taking our time. And if you plant your hand here and drive with this hand, you can pivot around the corner. So again, we're planting one hand over here to hold so it pivots, and we're driving with this hand. So I did mention that my next series is going to involve potato chip blocks, and that's going to be lots of fun. But I think before I do that, I may jump in on... There is a YouTube channel called Scrap Fabric Love, and her name is Kristen, and she is doing a scrap block quilt along, and it seems like a real fun project. So I signed up for it, and I am looking forward to doing those blocks because I got lots and lots of scrap fabric. So we'll try and use up some scraps that way. And if you go on over to her YouTube channel, please tell her Melissa sent you. 70 Acres Studio sent you. There is our little block. I think it's absolutely adorable. So here we are with our new block. I just think it's beautiful, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you give it a try. And I just think that these would be so lovely for a little baby quilt. And again, I have how many? I have one. This is block number 7, and I believe that I'm going to be doing one more block in this series, and then you can mix and match them to your heart's content. And the pattern, of course, for this will be down in the description. And then we're going to get into a brand new series involving potato chip blocks, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you all so very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this block. I hope you give it a try. I hope you love the series. Again, you don't have to use 1930s fabrics. I hope you all have a very, very blessed day, a very, very blessed week, and I will talk to you soon. I'll be right back here on 70 Acres Studio with our next little project very, very soon. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.